Said by the power of Grayskull.
Hello, this is just a quick review for UFC 4 on the ps4. The only reason I got it is because it's on 50% off, I think, on the store. It's only down to like £22.50, so for 20 quid I thought I'd check it out. The one thing I do like about it, because I've played all the other UFC titles, 1, 2 and 3, so I'm familiar with the game. But I like the creation suite, like what they've changed and what they've added. It's good now. There's a bit more selection. You can still do your tattoos and everything the same. There's a shitload of new haircuts, which you'll see as I'm flicking through them here. I was just going through the hair because I couldn't decide who to create for me career mode. So I thought I'll have a look through the hair and the jackets and stuff and see what's available before I decide who I'm going to make. But I ended up just making myself at the end. But I'm just flipping through the hairstyles to see what they're like. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of different variety. Because on the other games there hasn't always been a big variety of haircuts. So it's nice to see that. Also with the clothes, there's a shitload of new clothes. And also you can wear like your t-shirt or your jacket or whatever while you fight. It's not just like while you're walking down to the octagon or the cage or whatever you want to call it, like to the ring. I was going to say, when you're walking towards the ring, it's like you can fight with like masks on and stuff. So it's they've half got it where like the popularity of the WWF series, like their games where you can create Captain America and Spider-Man and stuff, and you can fight the fight tactic, the fight like in-game fight engine is applied, but with all these different like characters, Homer Simpson, the Turtles, anything you can think of is on them wrestling games, all the created characters, and it's the same kind of thing with this. You could go crazy and you could just create some really good characters, but like I said, the creation suite's not quite there yet. It's on its way. It's a million times better than what it was in previous games. It's just not like it's not the best I've seen up to scratch. You can obviously like pick your face and then you can fuck around with it, but even then, like the adjustments that are happening don't seem to be very major, where you can make funny characteristic people. Like I've created Michael Jackson and he looks hilarious because you can make his nose get small, and you can make like his skin white with the black perm. He looks hilarious when he's fighting, because even though you're quite zoomed in on the character now, you can see all the detail. When you're fighting people, it's quite like zoomed back a bit, so you don't see the detail. As long as you've got the main details there, then it really looks like the character. So I bet you there's loads of people out there created some really good characters. So it's nice to see. Basically, that's why I've like done such a big segment on this, because I just like to see that they've upgraded the way you can create people, because they've got the mechanics fighting wise. They've got the game mechanics of a really good fighting game. They have Bruce Lee, they've got Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, they've got like Mike Tyson. They've had all sorts of people in there. So bring back some of the old legends. Bring back like celebrities, have Steven Seagal, have like people who Chuck Norris and people like that, and don't be stingy and try and hide all these really good characters behind a paywall. Just give them out for free so people will want to pay the game. You'll end up selling more copies of the game if you give away free stuff than you do if you're trying to charge people with microtransactions. And also give them different body types. Like that's the fattest you can go. You could make them like really fat, like Butterbean and stuff like that, where because you can just play a stand-up game. One of the modes is stand and bang, so you don't need to have jiu-jitsu implemented. So that leaves it open for just basic. It's just like a fist fighting game where you can kick and knee, and the potential to put all of these people in there is just off the limit. But then when you start a career, because you've got to start off doing the backyard like fighting, and then you make your way up through the ranks, and then you get a UFC contract. Um, but you do end up getting a lot of like, it is a bit grindy. You find it getting a bit grindy because, especially if you accept a fight, and there's like 6 or 5 weeks before the fight, so that means 5 times or 6 times you've got to like promote the fight, or you've got to invite a fighter over to your gym so you can learn one of his moves, or you've got to like post on social media if you're hitting the heavy bag, and it gets more fans like hyped up. That you can do the sparring where you can either learn a specific style, like wrestling or kickboxing or Muay Thai or something like that, boxing, and then you can concentrate on those skills which put your stats up. Or at the very bottom, you can just do the punch bag, where you do combinations and it tells you what button sequences to press, and you press them, and then that puts your fitness up, so you don't get as tired. This one I've got to connect with the knee, because that's one of his moves, and he's learning us how to do it. So you've got, as long as you've got it, you think you get 5 minutes, and as long as you just get the knees in and create enough damage on the bottom left hand corner, 60 out of 250, and just keep damaging them, and then you can learn that, and then you end up like assigning it to a button. But what I don't like is when you first start, you've only, like, say you've got 30 empty slots all for moves, you only get about 10, so you've got a lot of empty slots, and you've got to do training and stuff to fill in the slots, like L1 and R1 and X, or you've got L1, R1 and hold X. They're both 2 different slots, and you've got to both find the moves to unlock them, or they just stay empty. So it's up to you how to progress your character and what kind of moves you want, what kind of fighting style you're going to go for. And also, there you see how it's just come up there, 1 star with a lead body knee. If I keep using that in my fights and stuff like that, then obviously you keep getting a better star rating, so it has more impact when I do it, so I'll be able to finish people and knock them out with it after a while. So it depends, like if you like the big overhand right, you could just keep doing that and it'll get better and better, and it becomes deadly where you're knocking people out with 1 punch power. It just depends the fighter style that you prefer and how you play, which is great, because that means everybody's going to have a different experience, or people's characters, when you're fighting against people online, they'll have different moves to suit their fighting style. So I like that, because that's very customizable, really. It's one thing that's good. Like I said, I haven't really got much footage of any of the other modes, like exhibition mode, where you can pick like Robbie Lawler versus Conor McGregor and stuff like that. You can just have all the massive roster. The selection screen has changed a bit. It looks a bit like Mortal Kombat, where they've just got the pictures in like the tiles of the pictures of the people's faces, and then it's just like you can just pick from a selection screen, and then you change the categories at the top. It's not like the old days where it showed you the like tail of the tape kind of full version of the bloke, and you're flicking through, like scrolling through it. They've changed all that. They've still got stand and bang. They've still got like some of the modes where you just don't do any jiu-jitsu and you just fight. So there's about 3 or 4 different modes, plus you can go online and fight people. But I tend to just stay on the tend to stay on to the career mode, because it's more enjoyable as a one-player game, I think, than just getting your ass kicked on people, because I am terrible at submissions. I'm okay like putting them on, but it's defending. I'm just shit at defending, especially if I'm getting choked or something. As soon as you get us in the choke, it's game over. I can't get out. So I don't like fighting people online because I get my ass kicked, but it takes all the fun out of it for me. This is another thing they've introduced, where you can do a little taunt at the beginning before you start, and that's new. You can also assign your different taunts. So if I was to press a direction now, then I would taunt them, and you get 4 different ones before you fight, during the fight, and then you've got a different ones for once you win as well. So that's quite good, because like I said, it's all about customization. But if you can make like celebrities or like really crazy creations can still have this fighting mechanics where you're doing roundhouse kicks and you're doing like uppercuts and stuff. I mean, it'll be hilarious. It's like Celebrity Deathmatch. It's, if anyone can remember that TV program from MTV years ago, and you know what I mean, it would be so funny to have like the real celebrities, because the people's faces are quite good as well. The you know, like they've got good detail. The connections when you punch people and you see the face like wobble, or you punch them in the body and you see the like the belly wobble a bit, you still get that. There's still lots of blood. There's black eyes and you get cuts and stuff. You can injure yourself as well too early. Like if you break an arm or something, or if you injure yourself during training, you can actually shorten your career. So you can actually, you know, end a fighter's career, and you have to just start with a brand new character, that kind of thing. So it's all about longevity. If you're having loads of wars and you're just standing toe to toe with someone and punching fuck out of each other, then your fight is not going to last as long as somebody who's maybe in a welter class, like a welterweight or something, light heavyweight, and they're faster on the jab and the punch speed's faster. It just depends exactly how much you want, because I'm playing heavyweight here. So, but you see, though what I mean? Like, I found it quite easy at the first beginning. Like, I haven't got any stats, but yet I'm knocking people out straight away. Maybe I've just got on too easy of a difficulty, but it's on 50% at the moment. If you like the look of it, I would go and get it. It's a great game to play, especially with your friends. It's a right laugh. But that's it really. So, oh, and I don't know how long it's on discount. It's probably, by the time you watch this, it won't be, but it's always worth a check. But that's it. See you there.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.